So, I'm with a couple of world champions, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what the gold medals around your neck signify?
And it means like...
I'm going to need you to talk up. We can't have no low voice, because before the camera came on, there was a whole load of chatting. So let's talk. Who's going to tell me what these medals signify?
They signify winning the World Youth Jiu-Jitsu Championships for my age and my my age and my weight for winning in Abu Dhabi, and the same for her.
So talk up, baby girl.
Why are you going quiet now the camera's on? You had the most talk before the camera came on, and now the camera's on. It's like, oh,
And Nia, let's stop your sister be your mouthpiece. You're the oldest.
Come on, Nia, talk up. You must be proud of yourself, because that's a pretty chunky medal, and I know that you guys are really wanting to win this one, haven't you?
Yeah, since I lost the Pan Ams.
The Pan Ams?
Yeah, I lost another competition.
Oh gosh, I didn't know the phone was going to ring. We'll have to ignore it.
I lost another competition, so yeah, I was actually quite happy. I won another big one. I think after losing it's just helped me get better.
So losing the Pan Ams made you get better. When was the Pan Ams?
February.
When was it?
February.
So what happened? You lost in the final, or?
I lost in the semi-finals
Uh-huh.
and I got bronze, default bronze.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't really happy about that. But then when I went back and I trained even harder with some other people, that made me even better, and my game got better, and then I managed to win the other.
You got to talk up. I can barely hear you. I'm sat next to you.
I managed to win the Abu Dhabi.
You managed to win the Abu Dhabi, yeah? So
Yes.
you're a world champion. You and your sister are world champions. Big sis, talk to me. Because you're being quiet there and humble. Tell me about your experience out in Abu Dhabi.
It was really fun. All the girls were really nice out there, and
They asked a lot of questions, didn't they?
yeah.
What, did they?
Yeah.
Why? Why did they ask you so many questions? Is
They
it,
thought you were UAE to
Yeah.
start off with.
Yeah.
did they?
They thought they were Arabs.
And when you win
This is me
these
Yeah, let Nia talk.
And then they never like made friends with people from outside the UAE before, so like they were really like interested
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
So they were intrigued with you because of the fact that you're not from where they used to?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the competition like?
It was really big, and there were lots of people there, like especially like for the boys, like the sheikh was there, and there was like a big camera which went on the center of the mat, and then there was a huge screen which like projected everything, and it would go across the crowd and stuff.
Was that the first time you'd experienced that?
I don't know, because I went out last year.
Right.
for me.
And I lost in the final, and then I came back and won the final this year.
So you got a silver last year
Yeah.
and came back this year, got a gold.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel, know that you went back and did one better and actually won the best medal that was available?
Like I achieved something, and yeah, I felt quite proud because I worked really hard to be able to fight my best.
And you tell Joel about the process before that. What you had to do the night before. I'm more proud of this.
Yeah.
So basically, because we have to make weight for our competition, I wasn't on weight before the fight.
You were when we were in England,
We
but
were
the flight.
in England, but the flight kind of, because of the bloated.
Yeah, all the water.
retaining
all the
water.
table
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, of course. So you had to do.
So when I got out there, I was over. So like for the day before my fight,
Day before weighing, you did.
yeah, we checked on the test scales, and we were like, oh no, we're not gonna make it. And everyone was like, you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna fight. So I was like, I'm gonna do it because I really wanted to fight. So like I had fruit for breakfast, but I couldn't eat for the rest of the day. And then I went like in the morning, I did like, what was it? Like half an hour on the exercise bike, like rowing in like a sweatsuit. And then I was swimming, and then I went in the sauna, and I had to swim and go back in the sauna. And then in the evening, when I still wasn't making it, like like the evening before the fight, I went back and I was like on the exercise bike in like this massive sweatsuit, and it was like zipped up to my eyes, and I was like cycling really fast, and everyone's staring at me in the gym.
That must be crazy.
Yeah, that I was on drugs or something. And then I sprinted to the sauna, and I was literally in the sweatsuit jumping up and down in the sauna.
Wow.
And there were some girls from the competition who were staying in the same hotel as us, and they were just looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Because I really wanted to make weight. And then I got back to the room and I got on the scales.
Now you had a hot bath.
No, I made it before.
Yeah.
I got back on the scales and I made weight, and then I had to go in a hot bath with like Epsom salts, and lavender, and I had to like sweat in the bath. And my mum said I could come out when like there was a certain time, but she didn't tell me the time, so I was in the bath for even longer.
Wow.
And then yeah.
Sounds like a gruesome experience.
But what did you say after once you'd made weight?
I've done it.
No, you said something else. But she said to me, I can do anything. And I thought, as much as I can tell my kids that they can do anything, they can be anything, I could tell it to them, me and my husband could tell it to them, they're blue in the face, you can do anything, you just got to work hard. For them to actually feel that themselves, to actually experience that themselves, to actually believe that themselves, that sport has given them that gift. Like, she was like, I can do anything. Like, that was determination, that was mentally determined that she was going to do, because I'll be honest with you, her coach and me, we were like, you ain't losing 1.5 kilos overnight.
Wow, is that what you have to lose?
Yeah.
No, it was 2 kilos.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much 2 kilos.
She was, and she, yeah, it is. But she's a girl. She retains water, flights. You know, girls have got so many other factors that boys don't have to factor in. So
stuff going on in the. Yeah.
Exactly, but she basically just said to me she'd come back for me in 45 minutes, and I was like her. So she just she put on her sweatsuit. She got in that gym. She was cycling. There were other people in the saunas. There are other people, because the hotel we stayed at was very close to the venue, so there was a lot of athletes that were competing at that.
So people who understood what you were going
they
through,
did.
right?
There were other athletes there. They knew that she was on a mission to make sure. She's
make
not
weight.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes.
That's how it goes. You've got to make weight. You've got to make weight. We didn't come all this way, fly out here. She managed to, obviously, she did day before weigh-in. She could eat what she wanted after that. After she weighed in.
I had to watch them pizza. I had to watch them.
We were telling her it was awful.
So you really had to earn it. I mean, you both had to earn it, but you really had to earn it. You had to dig deep and make sure.
I had to watch them, and they're like, the pizza's so disgusting, but they ate the whole thing.
And I was like, it's so disgusting.
You wouldn't like it. You really wouldn't like this pizza.
It wasn't.
You see me
The
stuffing my face in it.
How many rounds do you have to fight to?
It depends how many.
How many girls are entered into your
You
category?
had 5, didn't you?
So how many fights did you have?
I had 6 people, and I had 2 fights. I was supposed to have fight 3, but the girl didn't turn up.
So you done something extra amazing, didn't you?
Yeah.
You won a gold medal in your own age and weight class, and then you stepped up and you just about lost out on the gold in the teen weight class. Talk to me about that, because I know you want to talk. You're warmed up now. Go, let's go.
They came over while I was just sitting up in the warm-up area, like watching Nia warm up with her coach, and then one of the women came over to me and was just like, "Oh, do you want to do an exhibition fight?
No, it's a
special division." She said the girls yelled about an under 40.
She brought me over.
She brought me over to them, and when I went over to them, I said, asked them, "Oh, how old are you?" And she said they were 11 and 12 for women. And then I went asked them, and they said they were 14 and 15. And I was a bit like, I'm only 10. And then I thought, when I fought the first person, I was just like, oh no, because I fought the 15-year-old first, and I was getting very nervous and like shaky. But then I sort of was just like, okay, I'm going to try my best. And then I did manage. When I won, I was just like, I sort of like couldn't believe it. And then
So you managed to win your first fight against a 15-year-old.
But she won on the mat next to Nia.
Right.
And Nia won at the same time as her.
That must have been a moment for you.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm going to come back to that in a second. But talk to me about how you felt after you won that first fight.
I was just like, I beat the 15-year-old. I was just like, I could win a team. Like that, and like I felt like after I could beat a 15-year-old at Yellowbelt, I feel like everyone else, like who's say my age, they wouldn't really like
pose a threat.
Yeah, because I went up in age anyway for my normal one, because I'm actually 2007, but I went up to 2006. Anyway, because my mum was just like, you don't need to fight. She said there weren't that many people. She said I would have got more fights, which I like having more fights. You have more chances. And so when I went up to the teen and I was fighting, I was just like, I felt like, oh, now I've beaten this girl, I can just like, I felt like it was like I could do like anything.
You could take on the world.
Yeah.
Talk about that moment, Mum. Talk about when you know seen.
Well, it was unexpected because obviously the divisions run at different times. So like she went up to junior. She should have been in the infant division, but she went up to the junior division and she had her fights.
She's
So
done the junior and the teen.
oh, and age being greedy. So because she had stepped into the teen division. And they'd taken her off, and the lady said, like, if it's not suitable, we'll bring her back to you. But the time that they were taking so long, I had to go to Nia's fight. And I didn't know where Zuri was and what was going on with Zuri. And then Nia's out for her division. And then Nia's fought 2 fights now, and Nia's in the final. And then Zuri comes out and is on the mat next to her, fighting. And he's like, Mum, she's fighting a 15-year-old. I'm like, what? But obviously, obviously I'm behind the barriers, I can't do anything about it. They both go on. They both win. I'm trying to watch both fights at the same time. The coach is trying to coach them both at the same time.
I heard him say, come on, you did this, Zuri did this, saying switching.
Yeah, it was just like, we didn't know who to coach, who to cheer for.
It's hard to focus on.
And then all of a sudden at the end of the fight, she won, and I was like, she's won, but Nia's was down to, like, in her final, she had a tough final. She was fighting was she from Belgium?
I fought a girl from Belgium, yeah.
And she's older than you, and she's
10.
higher belt than you. She's a green belt. And I was like, this is gonna be tough. I saw her get to the final as well, and she dispatched of the girl that she was fighting. So I was like, Nia, you're gonna have a tough final, and it was a tough final. But it went down to ref's decision, and I was like, we didn't know if Nia's hand was gonna go up or the other girl's hand was gonna go up. And it was like, so Zuri's won. We're like, okay, Zuri's won, and I was like, holding my breath, and then Nia's hand went up, and Nia's won. I was like, it's amazing. That was amazing. They both won. They both came running off.
What belt are you?
Yellow belt.
And what belt are you?
Orange belt.
Sorry?
Orange belt.
Orange. How many steps away from the black are you? For those who don't.
There are no black in kids.
So
right, okay.
If we were to align kids belts with adult belts, she would be a brown belt, which is 1 step away from black, and you would be a purple belt, which is 2 steps away. But the kids belt, the highest kids belt you can get is green.
Right.
And then after you, green black. Then after you finish with kids belts, which not many kids make it to green.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because it's the same sort of length of.
Yeah, I can imagine. They could give it up by then.
Yeah, they're not giving it up. So Nia is looking. She's on set. Yeah, Nia's on set to be an adult, teenage green belt, and then after that she would move to the adult belts, which are blue, purple, brown, black.
You could go to full green, but you could go to adult white, but that's not.
No, she can't go to adult white. No, Nia will never be able to go to adult white
because you're fighting basically adult beginners, and you've been doing jiu-jitsu.
So that wouldn't happen.
They wouldn't let her.
You'd skip.
She'd go straight to blue belt. And to be honest, the way Nia fights, she'll spend 5 minutes at blue belt. This is mummy being very bad.
That it is mummy, because I do know how difficult it is to progress through the belts.
But she's fighting blue belts already.
You're talking it up.
No, I'm talking it up. She's fighting blue belts already. Like, she's good. I don't see you staying long at blue or purple.
Are you going to carry it on? Because let me ask you a question as the older sister. There's going to be a change in your body and your circumstances and things you're interested in. Do you see that maybe, I don't know, you might not be as interested in BJJ by that point?
I think like when you hit secondary school, it's like year 7ish, year 8, like when people like kind of start to like drop out and slide out. Because in primary school it's much easier to keep everything up. But like at my jiu-jitsu I have all my friends, like a family, and like it all fits like around school, and it all can go together. So I think I'm gonna carry on.
You'll be there for a while, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mum, this is a discipline, and you have to have a dedication to reach where the guys have reached. And we're going to talk about how you've dominated the UK, gone over to America, and everybody knows your names in a minute. But I want to talk about your commitment as a parent to, firstly, introducing your kids to this sport, and secondly, keeping them on the straight and narrow, keeping them on the path that sees them attain this type of success? How easy, difficult has that been? Talk about that journey for me.
Okay, so when you're a parent, you worry about that. As soon as you start having children, you're thinking, you know, they get to teenage years, you start fretting. Like, once you get through the baby years, you're like, teenage years. How do we keep my kids from experimenting or going off and hanging? Like, what I will say is that this sport has given me more. I know I have a lot of running around to do. I do. I have to pack lunches. I have to make, you know, we have to do tournaments at the weekends. You know, most evenings is taken up with going back and forth to training. Yeah, there is a sacrifice that me and my husband have to make, but for what we get back for it is worth the sacrifice every day of the week. I would rather be having to rush back and forth, taking them training and knowing that they're doing something that A, is a life skill, you know, they're learning how to protect themselves, they're keeping fit and healthy, and B, they're learning discipline and focus and respect. I'm getting so much more, we are getting so much more, our kids are developing so much, achieving things and developing all from this sport. The trade-off is not comparable for us as parents.
Do you think, I mean, if more parents were to adopt that type of mentality with their children, and I'm not suggesting it's easy, there's no one size fits all for anybody.
No.
I'm just more talking about cherry picking some of the positives from what you're doing. Do you think if that mentality was a bit more prevalent, we wouldn't see half the issues that we're seeing on the road?
I will say now, obviously there's no rule book to parenting and everybody has to, like you said, but what I will say is this approach is very, very effective. So much so, I've got friends, colleagues, everybody asking me, how do I get my kids into jiu-jitsu? Because they're watching my kids and they're going, hey, this works. Didn't know about it beforehand. Like I said, I didn't know about it. It was my husband that first said, I want the kids to do a martial art because I believe a martial art is going to give them discipline and focus. I was like, okay, so I went along with it. But now I'm singing its praises, and a lot of my friends, you know, my sister's got her little go into jiu-jitsu. One of my friends that I work with, she's got three of her daughters doing jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, my nephew, sitting there gaming all day long, came to jiu-jitsu, likes it. I think if more parents realise the benefits of putting their children into a martial arts, and it will teeter out a lot of the problems that you can encounter, like we're seeing today. Kids that are like idle, don't know what to do with themselves, getting into trouble. It focuses you. I'll be honest with you, it's addictive. The sport in itself is addictive.
Everybody says that.
It's addictive. Like, you think, oh, who wants to be rolling around? But you start to learn it, and it's an intelligence sport.
It's the subtleties, isn't it?
It's the subtleties. It's like, okay, oh my God. And before long, it hooks you in, and you're like, and you lose weight, and you stay healthy. I mean, I lost like 9 kilograms doing jiu-jitsu. Like,
oh, you did as well?
She done a competition in Bournemouth and the London Warriors Cup, and she got gold in both.
Oh, mum, keeping it in the family. That's good.
Do you know what? I thought you can't beat them at the end of the day.
No, it's a good sport. I love it.
It's a good sport. I went down there. I think I've watched for so many years.
Yeah.
When I started to train, they were like, "That's gone in," because I was doing moves, and they were like, "Charisse," and I was like, "But I've been watching them for years, and I'm there anyway." You pick it up, and I'm like, "Okay."
You competed.
I did compete. I did, and I think it's good for your kids to see that. You know, I think with whatever your kids are doing, it's also good as a parent to lead by example. Yeah. You know, they're doing this sport.
She got silver in the absolute weight, so it's like all weights.
Syria, are you beating up the boys?
Yeah. Some boys.
Some boys?
Yeah.
If they're a bit cheeky?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, you have to put them in their place.
Zuri likes that, don't you?
I can bet. You got that smile on your face like you do like that. Do you like?
So does Neo. They both love being.
It's a security, isn't it? You know.
I think some boys are they get a bit cocky, and like at my gym today, it was just like, oh, this time I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna kill you, and then he and I got in my sweat, and then beat him, and then he got a bit.
What did you just say?
I don't even know.
Yeah, you mumble, baby girl.
she was remembering the memory. I got the gist of it. There was a guy at the gym who was running up his
But there's a lot of times, like, Nia loves, I think you like it when a boy kind of goes, ugh, they say, I'll go with Nia, and then they kind of go, ugh, as if to say, oh, why are you making me roll with a girl?
Yeah.
And they see it as a challenge, they're like,
yeah.
And then I'm like, you silly boy, watch what she's going to do to you now.
No, because I did last year I went up to the 15-year-old boys division because there was no one for me to fight.
I was going to say, in the UK, right? Because you've dominated the UK, haven't you? There's no one in your age to really roll with.
There is people, but you know.
They hide.
Yeah,
They
don't always come out when they should.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I can understand that. No one wants an L on their resume.
Sometimes people get sick during major competition.
Sorry, Nia, you were saying.
So, basically I went up to the 15-year-old boys division and I had I won my first fight by submission, so I like tapped him out. And then my second fight, like I won it on points, like I took him down and stuff. And it was really funny because when I got on the podium, the boy, like, because they were all older than me as well, the boy who was on the podium below me, he was taller than me, even though I was on the block above him.
Wow, and you still subbed him?
He was really respectful though. He came up afterwards and came over to her and went, that was some sick jiu-jitsu, like well done. Like he and some of the like people like commented on like Insta, like he's mustard, he's good, this boy. And so wow.
To beat him.
I think what for him is, I think the problem is they underestimate her. That's the biggest thing.
So they won't do it again.
They won't do that again.
Yeah, right.
Like there's that other boy who he don't underestimate Nia. He's like nah.
Anthony,
you're gonna get him. Don't worry. He's not underestimating. He's like
it was a close fight.
It was a very close fight. But he was like, I think the mistake boys might make is they'll see a girl in front of them. They'll go, oh, okay, let's just, and then they start to roll and they go, uh-oh, and by then it's too late. It's too late because she's already got a hold of you now. You're defending her because she's trying to choke you.
What would you like to achieve in this sport, young lady? I mean, you've won the world championship, so I mean, what else want to do?
I want to get be the youngest like female black belt, the youngest female black belt, and
in the country.
In the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
Big. Love it. Talk it.
I want to get.
What's the youngest? 20. Youngest.
20. I think Mackenzie Dern.
No, Bianca Basilio got hers at 20.
20.
Mackenzie Dern was 21. She was the youngest female black belt to get her black belt, and then I think she got trumped by Bianca Basilio, who got hers at 20.
What's your big goal?
They're trying to get it 18, 19.
Yeah.
It's doable if you.
Good luck. Keep going. Don't stop shooting for that. Make sure you shoot for that.
And I want to get more female people because it's just like all the females are like, or girls, they're just like, oh, we don't like get into fight because more girls want to do all like other stuff, but not all like fighting. But I want to get like more girls to do sports, martial arts, and see how.
So you got a plan, yeah? Okay, good. Big sis?
I want to win the Black Belt World Championships. Yeah, I want to do that.
When's that? And where is it?
Well, that's in California.
It's in California.
Long Beach.
Uh-huh.
But that'll probably be further years down the line.
But absolute though, isn't it?
Yeah, because I want to get the world's ring, because they get the special rings and stuff. And then I want to be like the IBJJF #1 ranked black belt, because then you get a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
Money, sponsorship. Talk to me, mum. How you doing? Because the last time we spoke, there was a lot of drama. I know you wanted to go out to this tournament last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
we're still self-funding. Like,
are you?
We're still funding. We've got family members that are contributing, which are helping the kids to do, because there's the kids internationals in Vegas in August that I'm now saving to take them to.
That's the next step.
That's the next one, the kids internationals, which all three of them will be fighting at. So we're just trying to put away from that. To be honest with you, I was talking with one of my good friends. I think if sponsorship comes for these kids, it's going to come from our own community. Yeah. Because I'll be honest with you, I've seen people rally behind kids that aren't even.
They're not ready.
And money's coming down for these kids.
Just because somebody knows someone.
Just because, yeah.
And they don't look like me and you.
Yeah, they do not look like me and you.
Fair enough. Put that down for me, babe, because it's just shining on my face.
Yeah. So I'm, like I said, they were recently. I got them on mainstream ITV news. They were on, and lots of people were like messing you about and I could see people already started to look at me like, how did you get them on the news and stuff? I said, because I'm persistent. I'm a persistent person.
Did you make them come down?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, well, that's just me.
So that's why
they are good at jiu-jitsu. And
if we were bad at jiu-jitsu, then there would be no point. And now we're good at jiu-jitsu, we even have a shot at doing it because.
I should do a podcast, Mum.
People are kind of I'm just trying to figure out new ways to try and. Look, I know it's not going to happen overnight, but again, it's difficult when we are like us. We look like we look, because unfortunately people don't necessarily want to. Like I said, if my kids look differently, oh my god, it would be easy. They'll be throwing stuff at us.
Listen, it's not meant to be easy, and I hope you listen to your mum when she talks about the journey that she's going through. I know BJJ is not easy, so you guys are doing fantastic things. Keep doing that, because that helps mum to put the pressure on these people to try and bring the sponsorship in.
When we beat them, we have to beat them in a better way.
You beat them as if you beat them. That's as long as you beat them. You keep beating them. Don't worry about how you do it. All right, just make sure you beat them, because when you win, that medal.
I think more than likely I'm going to get more luck in America, and that's probably where I'm going to also put a lot of my attention as well, because it's bigger in America.
Yeah, it is.
And there are more people, and now they're starting to make names for themselves in America. Already, she has a sponsorship with the apparel company Shoyoroll in America.
Good.
So
that's one less thing to.
That's one less thing, because her geese cost about nearly 200 quid.
No, of course, and they don't last.
And they don't, because she grows like look at the child.
And you're working in them. So
he's giving them to her for like nothing, which is amazing. And we're now working Zuri into that package, so we ain't got to pay for hers.
Good.
The next thing will be for someone to pay for their comp entries.
Right.
Which is
how much are they? How much was this one?
To enter this competition wasn't expensive. This is the cheapest. The IBJJF ones, they're expensive. They're about $100 each.
Oh my
So for three of them, it's $300 for me to enter them.
That's crazy.
British, what would that?
Yeah, that's like 100. Like UK comps, I'm usually spending about £40-45 each to enter them in their competitions.
Yeah, I've got this issue. I mean, I speak to Jordan Thomas quite regularly, and he actually put a tweet out. He's a world champion at karate.
Okay.
And he put a tweet out the other day talking about the same issue. Why am I paying to enter competitions? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm representing the country. So yeah, it's an issue.
The UAE was nice. I think they got money. That competition. What I love about that is it's prestige.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the most prestigious.
It's prestigious.
So
they don't hold back, and they're not even charging you. I mean, like if we'd have done the early bird tickets, it was like $30 each. Right, it was none. And then even after that, it was only $50.
Right,
do you know what I mean? Whereas when I'm going out to America now, $99 a pop for each of them to enter.
Right, well, we'll look to highlight that. Where are you guys on Instagram?
Yeah. Team Blackman.
Team Blackman.
At
team
_BJJ.
Okay, yeah, no, let them
that's
know.
your private one. That's your friend.
I'm almost at 1K. So.
But we've also got Team Blackman _BJJ.
Good. All right. Well, I get everybody. I can.
And obviously they're on Twitter as well.
Cool. Same thing.
Same thing. Team Blackman _BJJ.
All right. Is there anything else you want to put out there before we close? Cause I'm just conscious. That
No. That's about everything. Like I said, just like if you want the kids to keep seeing these kids succeed in this, and it's the other thing I will say as well to parents, which is a direct correlation, is they're extremely academic. They're athletic and they're sporty, they can turn their hands to most sports, but I think the focus and discipline of training finds itself into the schoolwork. And I've got two very, very hard-working, high-achieving, because they take that same discipline and they apply it to their schoolwork. I'm not the parent that has to make them do their homework. They train, they come home, they do their homework, they go to sleep, they go to school, they get up, they train, and it works.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Well done, Mum. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate the support.
I appreciate it.